Okay, welcome back to another After Effects tutorial. Today we're going to be creating a spinning 3D globe on After Effects. The first thing I want you to do is to open up After Effects. To do that, you just hit the Windows button and just type in Adobe After Effects and then double click the icon. Once you have After Effects open, I want you to jump on the Google Classroom and find this 3D Textures Google Drive folder, which has different image textures that we are going to use for the tutorial today. We are going to be creating a little spinning globe. So think about which texture you might want to use here. You've got 6 options. I'm going to go with this one here. Once you have your option selected, you just need to download it. Wait for it to download, and once it is downloaded, just double check that it is in your downloads folder. Like you can see, mine is here. Once you've done that, you can close Chrome, and we are going to create a new project in After Effects. The first thing we're going to do is select New Composition, and we're just going to call it Globe. You want your preset to be HD, so 1920 by 1080 pixels. Frame rate is fine at 30, and we're going to make the duration 8 seconds. So you're just going to want to change where it says 3 to 8. You can leave the background color as black. Click OK. Cool. The first thing we are going to do once you have created your composition is we are going to drag in that image texture. So you just need to open up your File Explorer down the bottom, and we are going to open up the Downloads folder, and you just want to drag that into your composition like I have done here, and it should display like that. Now this is a 4K image, so it's going to be slightly bigger than the project window. So you'll see if you change the scale over on the right here, you can adjust the scale of the image to get your desired look. I'm just going to leave it at 80. And that is sort of the first step, just adjusting the scale of your image. Once you've done that, you want to come over to the right here where it says Effects and Presets. And we are going to search for the CC Sphere effect, and we are just going to drag and drop it onto our image like that, and you will see that creates the cool little globe effect that we're going for. Cool. If that doesn't work, just try again. So you can re-import your image, or you can just press Ctrl-Z and go back and try again. Now we have the CC Sphere applied to our image. I might just change the background color quickly. So we're going to go Composition up the top and Composition Settings, and then let's just change the background color to white, so it's a little bit easier to see our image. All we're going to do for the animation today is we're just going to play around with a few of the keyframes in the CC Sphere effect panel. So over on the left here, you have the effect controls, and you just want to click this little drop down. And here you can play around with some different effects. So the first thing we're going to keyframe is going to be the light height. So you'll see if you drag it down to, for example, -50, it will make the whole the whole sphere dark. And if you drag it up to, say, 100, it will light the whole sphere. So the first thing we are going to do is we're just going to keyframe a little animation here that creates the effect sort of like a sun rising over our little sphere. So the first thing you want to do is click this blue part of the timeline here, drag it to 0, and we are going to set our layer heights to -50, and we are going to click the little stopwatch here to set that keyframe. We're then going to move down the timeline to about 8 seconds, and we are going to change that number from -50 to 90. Now, if we play back our timeline, we'll see that we have our first sort of animation effect occurring like this. It's sort of creating the illusion of a sunrise. Pretty cool. The next effect we're going to play around with is the rotation, which is up the top. So you just need to click the little drop down here. And now we're going to animate the globe sort of spinning around on two different axes. So just like before, I want you to click the keyframe for the rotation X at 0 seconds. And then I want you to move down the timeline to the same point where it glows. And I want you to animate that first little bit of movement. So we might get the sphere to do 200 degrees. Now, if we go back to the timeline, you'll see that that is the effect that we are creating there. So now you have the sun rising and the sphere spinning around like so. We're going to do the same thing to another axis. I might do the z-axis now. So stopwatch again at 0, move down the timeline, and then you're going to increase the rotation this way also. So now you'll sort of get 2 animations happening at the same time. Okay, I'm going to do the y-axis now as well. So start and 0, move down, and we're going to get that spinning. Also, we might go a little bit quicker. Throw all these together. And this is the sort of effect we have here. What I want you to do now is I want you to open up the effect controls here and click where it says CC Sphere. And I want you to leave these 2 keyframes here, but I want you to open up the rotation keyframes and I want you to just select all of those and delete them. What that will do is that will just reset the shape. And what I want you to do is spend some time now resetting your own keyframes so you can create your own individualized animation for the purpose of this tutorial. So I just want you to, like before, set the keyframes of the rotation and create your own values so you can have a go at doing this animation effect on your own. Well, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add an easy ease to those keyframes. So once you're happy with the movement of your globe, you just want to select them, right click, click keyframe assistant, and then go easy ease. Alternatively, you can just press F9 and that will sort of ease in this movement so that your animation looks a little bit less rigid. We're going to do one more keyframe and it's going to be in a transform. And all we're going to do is just scale up the globe so it progressively gets bigger as the animation goes on. So I want you to open up the transform panels down the bottom here. I want you to click 0 in your timeline and click a keyframe on the scale. It will be whatever you set at the start. And then I want you to go to that last keyframe and I want you to increase the scale to whatever size you desire. And I'm just going to set my final keyframe scale at 120. And what that will do is it will create a digital zoom effect like you can see on my sphere right now. Pretty cool. If you feel like you are finished, you can skip to the exporting tutorial now. For anyone who wants to extend themselves, I'm going to just show you one more thing you might do in this tutorial. So you could jump on Google Chrome. You could find a star texture and just like before, download it. Cool. And then you could import it behind your sphere. so that it creates more of an illusion like your object is in space. If you want to get it really perfect, you need to match those, say, keyframes from before. So you need to scale up the background with the foreground. So you'll set a keyframe at 0 and then move to 8 seconds and then progressively scale it up. And then that will create the effect like it's zooming in with both assets. Cool. Once you are happy with your globe, I'm going to show you how to export. So the first thing we want to do is we want to trim this composition. So we're going to go composition settings, and we are going to make sure that our duration is only about 10 seconds. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0 in the duration here. And you'll see that that trims the animation down to about 10 seconds. We then want to go File, Export, Add to Render Queue. You then need to find an output location, which you do by just clicking this little blue text here that says Not Yet Specified. And then you'll export that to a location such as your desktop or downloads. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to call it globe. And then the other thing you want to make sure that you have is you want to have the H.264 codec selected, and that will make it an MP4. So once you have the output selected and the output module as H.264, you click this little render button here. That will render those files. And then you'll see that that is in the location that you saved it. Cool. Obviously, for the purpose of your workbooks, the next thing you would do is add that to a Google Drive, which you can just do by opening up Drive. And then you just drag that in like so, wait for it to upload, and then you share that link just like any other file in multimedia. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed making this little globe effect on After Effects.